delighted love of Godhead, and his foot bells jingled. All the devotees chanted the names Mukunda, Madhava, Yadava, and Hari. Their mouths being filled with the vibrations, they would announce to the still sleeping people, "You spend your nights uselessly sleeping and your days decorating your bodies. You have achieved such a rare human body, but you do not care for this gift. You remain not serving the darling of Yashoda and slowly fall through your last moments of death. With every rising and setting of the sun, the day passes and is lost. Then why do you remain idle and not serve the Lord for the heart? From the heart. This temporary life is full of various miseries. Take shelter of the holy name as your only business. To penetrate the darkness of ignorance and bless everyone's heart, the holy name has risen like the rising sun. Drink the pure nectar of the holy name of Krishna. There is nothing but the name to be had in the 14th verse. It has filled the soul of Sri Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Sri Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you very much.
Wonderful seva. Thank you.
Welcome all the devotees to the today's session. We start with the today's class with the invocation prayers. Guru Pranam. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasati Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manovishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuttapada Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavancha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sadhana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Tajida Jivam Sadvaitam Sapadhutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sadhana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrisabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vancha Kalpatarubhya Cha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhya Vaishnavebhya Namo Namah. Now we'll offer our obeisances to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the six Goswamis of Vrindavan. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurotise Nama. O magnificent incarnation, your Krishna himself appearing as Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You have assumed the golden color of Srimati Radharani and you are widely distributing the pure love of Krishna. We offer our respectful obeisances unto you. Krishna Varnam Tisha Krishnam Sangopangastra Parsadam Yagya Sankirtana Praya Rejajanti Sumedasaha. In this age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead who constantly sings the name of Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. Nana Shastra Vicharana Kene Punam Saddharma Samsthapako Lokanam Hitakarinako Tribhuvane Manya Saranya Karo Radha Krishna Pada Ravinda Vajanan Anandhina Mattaliko Bande Rupa Sanatana Raghujugo Sri Jiva Gopalako. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the six Goswamis of Vrindavan, namely Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatana Goswami, Sri Raghunatha Bhatta Goswami, Sri Raghunatha Das Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, and Sri Gopala Bhatta Goswami, who are very expert in scrutinizingly studying all the revealed scriptures with the aim of establishing eternal religious principles for the benefit of all human beings. Thus, they are honored all over the three worlds and are worth taking shelter of because they are absorbed in the mood of the gopis and are engaged in the transcendental loving service of the divine couple Sri Radha and Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudire Nashta Prayesu Abhadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. With this, let us start with today's class, that is lesson 8 of Narada Bhakti Sutra. But before I start, I'll request Nityasaki Mataji to give the synopsis of yesterday's class, that is lesson 7.
Hare Krishna, Prabuji, Dandat Pranam. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Dandat Pranam. Hello to everyone. So, yesterday, as we are going through Narada Bhakti Sutra and we are releasing the secrets of transcendental love. So, it is that we are going through, today it will be lesson 8. And we have seen lesson 7 yesterday, so which includes chapter 3. So it has focused, this particular chapter 3, it has focused on means of achievements of bhakti. So how bhakti can be achieved. So in this particular chapter 3, so it includes the two lessons, lesson 7 and lesson 8. So lesson 7, it includes sutras from 34 to 41. So as all these PPTs, they are prepared by His Grace Charuchandra Prabuji, and yesterday's lecture, it was taken by His Grace Sarat Prabhuji. So Sarat Prabhuji is narrated about first lesson 6, and in detail talked about lesson 7 also. So as per his summarization, so up till 6 lessons, he explained that how devotional service is eternal and how pure love of Godhead can be attained with the help of devotional service. So one who is situated in pure devotional service becomes immortal, peaceful, doesn't enjoy or lament, is not enthusiastic about the material desires. So to accept which is favorable to devotional service should be our goal in the perfection of bhakti. As we all know, bhakti is both sadhya as well as sadhan. And yes, it is through sambandha, abhidaya and prayojan as per Srila Rup Goswami's ways of teaching. So we'll be dealing the means of achievements of bhakti, the process, abhidaya. So which are the different ways of doing bhakti, how bhakti is superior, is the most auspicious, and how one should take bhakti in the ways or in the living mode of devotional service. So this particular lesson 7, it has focused on Vishaya Sangatyag and Sadhu Sang versus Sadhu Sang. So how one should reject Vishaya Sangatyag and how one should follow on the footsteps of Acharya for Sadhu Sang. So it has been explained from Sutra 34 to 41 of Narada Bhakti Sutra. So in Sutra 34, Prabhuji explained that, Sharad Prabhuji, as per Narada Bhakti Sutra, how the authoritative methods for achieving devotional service, these are the standard, these are given by the standard authorities or acharyas, and he described it, the different methods of achieving the Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. Okay, so it is as per our words and practice, one can attain it. And it is Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. It has been prescribed by our acharyas so as to succeed in the devotional service. So Sutra 35, it was on giving up sense gratification and mundane association. So here it is explained, it has explained about Vishaya Tyag. So what is Vishaya? It is sense gratification. And the one who goes for sense gratification is known as Vishayi. So one should avoid Sangha of Vishayi. The one who is Vishayi cannot become successful in devotional service. And the one who is Bhakta, so one should engage our senses for Krishna's pleasure in Bhakti. So it has been told by our acharyas that Sri Rup Goswami in Nectar of Instruction, so it is Utsahat Nishaya Dharma, Utsayat Nishayat Dhairyat Tattat Karma Pravartanat, this is Sangha Tyaga Sato Rutte Shadbir Bhakti Prasiddhiti. So how asa Sangha Tyag is important, and so as to progress in our spiritual life, the ways they are given for that. So one is supposed to go for 16 round chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and 4 regulative principles they are given on the path of Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. So Sutra 36, it includes that worshipping the Lord ceaselessly 24/7. So uninterruptedly, flawless, one should lead this particular path. And here, as per Bhagavad Gita 9.30, so it is explained as Navvidha Bhakti. It has been explained how one should go for Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vandanam, Archanam, Dasyam, etc. These are the 9 ways of attaining Bhakti. These were explained by Prabuji. And one can understand that Maya ka das, Sada udas, Krishna ka das, Sada bindas. So one should be confident on this particular path in an uninterrupted manner. It has been explained. So Sutra 37, it included hearing and chanting the Lord's glories, even while engaged in worldly or ordinary activity. So it is as per Bhagavad Gita 8.7, Lord Krishna says that Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu Mam Anusmara Yuddhacha. So Krishna explains to Arjuna that even though you're fighting Arjuna on this battlefield, so you should constantly focus with me, and whatever karma you'll be doing, you just offer it to me. So not to forget me, and every moment you remember me. So these are the instructions given by Lord himself to Arjuna as he was in Dasyava. So here Lord Chaitanya also says in a Shishashtakam, Kirtaniya Sadhari. So one should be engaged 24/7 in um, in praying to Lord. That is Kirtaniya Sadhari. So it has been mentioned in Brihad Naradiya Puran as well as Padma Puran that so as to be successful in this Kali Yuga, the Yuga Dharma, it has been only that Harer Nam, Harer Nam, Harer Navake, Harer Nameva Kevalam, Kalo Nasteva, 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 Gatir Anyatha. So even though in his daily life one is engaged in Ugra Karma, one can avoid it and can reside um, in this particular mode of devotional service. It has been said that Lord himself says that I do not reside in Vaikuntha, but I do reside in Bhakti Yogi's heart. Here yogi word is for Bhakti Yogis. So Sutra 38 included not by one's own endeavor, but directly by the mercy of the Lord, or indirectly through his devotees, one can attain devotional service, and one can lead this particular path. Sutra 39 explained that Sadhu Sangha is very rare and it is very difficult to understand and infallible. So one can achieve anything and everything in this particular path with the help of Sadhu Sangha, Vaishnav Sangha. So it has been said that getting Sangha of Mahatma, it has been very durlabha. It is so durlabha. but one can take this particular opportunity in one's life. Sutra 40 includes that sadhu sangha can be obtained. It can be labhyate only by the mercy of Lord. So it needs Bhagavad Krupa, it needs Guru Krupa, and it needs Vaishnava Krupa, devotees Kripa that is required. So it has been said that um, Guru Krishna Prasad Pai Bhakti Lata Pich. So one should have the Guru Krupa and the blessing so as to lead this particular path. So it starts from Ado Shraddha Tatha Sadhu Sang. So Sadhu Sang is very essential, and which is the beginning step so as to lead in this particular Bhakti Marg. Sutra 41, it explains the Lord and his pure devotees are non-different, and one can attain bhakti by their association. Here Lord wants to say that he himself is not different from his devotees. And here most of the speculators or Mayavadis, they do put their own statements, and here Srila Prabhupada is warning that one should not get indulged with these Mayavadis philosophies. And so we'll proceed to lesson 8 that will be led by His Grace Sarat Prabhuji for more details. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you very much. Now we'll start with from where we left yesterday. We are on chapter 3, theme 3, but today is lesson 8. We'll be covering sutras 42 to 59 sutras, and the essence is pure bhakti rendered with utmost humility is the fruit of all endeavor. Now we are talking of bhakti. Bhakti is the transcendental love for the Supreme Lord Krishna and nobody else. Now here in lesson 8, as I said, the essence is those who can cross beyond illusion. Illusion means beyond this Maya samsara. Next. Here in the essence of all these sutras, they are given in very brief. I'll just go over them. Now 42 to 50, those who can cross beyond illusion. In Sutra 42, we'll see strive for sadhu sangha. Yesterday we are talking of sadhu sangha, but here it is being stressed again and again that we should go for sadhu sangha under all costs. We should strive our best. We should try our best to attain sadhu sangha, because with sadhu sangha only we can progress on this path of devotional service. And Sutra 43 says, avoid asat sangha or all kinds of mundane association. What does it actually means? That we'll see in greater detail when we go through the sutras in detail. Then in Sutra 44, mundane association is the cause of lust, anger, confusion, forgetfulness, loss of intelligence, and total calamity. Now, as we also saw yesterday, this asat sangha is the cause of our fall down, and it causes lust to come in our character. We are angered. There is confusion. We are not able to decide what is right or wrong. Forgetfulness. We forget Krishna. We forget the Supreme Lord. And we try to do so many other things. And finally, what happens? Loss of intelligence. We lose our intelligence. And because of this, total calamity is brought upon the person. Therefore, the most important thing is that mundane association, which is the cause of all this calamity, we should avoid that. We should not go anywhere near that. But as we know, as everybody knows, we are living in this material world, and there are majority of the people, they are non-devotees. We should know how to deal with them, how to associate with them just for out of business only, whatever is required, that much only and not more than that, because that will bring our downfall. Then in Sutra 45, it says the rising waves of mundane association gather into a great ocean of misery. This same thing is being repeated again and again because of this mundane association or asat sangha will be in the ocean of misery. And in Sutra 46, the one who can abandon mundane association serves the sages and it itself can cross beyond illusion. This is the only important thing, that is we should leave aside asat sangha, then only we will be able to cross this ocean of misery, that is this material world. And in Sutra 47, we will learn that the one who rises to the transcendental platform can cross beyond this illusion. The same thing is being repeated differently in each verse, that we'll see in detail. Then in Sutra 48, it says the one who transcends material duality can cross beyond illusion. As we have seen in Bhagavad Gita, we are always in duality. Duality means what? Our happiness and misery, then hot, cold, like this, so many dualities we go through, whereas the actual nature, the Lord's nature is not like that. And because of this, we are in illusion, and if we can cross over duality, then we can cross beyond illusion. Then in Sutra 49, the essence is the one who renounces even the Vedas attains exclusive and uninterrupted attraction for God. That means when we transcend from the three modes of material nature, then to Gunatita, that is beyond the three modes of material nature. In the three modes, we first achieve Sattva, then Suddha Sattva. Then only we will be uninterruptedly attracted to the Supreme Lord. And in 50, we will learn that such a person is delivered himself and delivers the rest of the world. Such a person is very, very fortunate, because he delivers not only himself, but he has got the capability to deliver everybody who comes in contact with him. Then this is the bird's eye view of all the 9 sutras, but in different slides we will see them in detail. Okay, we'll start with Sutra 42 to 50. In essence, the Sanskrit verses, what do they say and what is the translation? And later on, we'll see in very great detail what Narada Muni means by this. In Sutra 42, Narada Muni says that Tadeva Sadhyatam, strive only for the association of pure devotees. Now, this association of pure devotees is so important that Narada Muni is stressing this. And here actually Narada Muni is blessing the hearer with this advice. The advice is you strive, you put your all efforts for association of the devotees, because with association of the devotees you will achieve anything, everything and everything, because this is the beginning. Like I have been telling, the Rupa Goswami says, Adho Shraddha Tatha Sadhu Sangha Vajan Kriya Anartha Nivritti, like this. Adho means associating with the pure devotees. And this is most important in our life. We should always try to associate with devotees, though this world is full of non-devotees, people who don't believe the Supreme Lord Krishna, they doubt him, and they do so many aparadhas, but there are pure devotees also. We should try to, we should strive only for the association of pure devotees. Pure devotee means a devotee and pure devotee, there is a difference. Pure devotee is one who is associating with the Supreme Lord 24 hours in a day. There is no suggestion. Only we should find out such persons and associate with them, and then only we will be proceeding toward our aim. And then Sutra 43. 43 says, Dussanga sarvathaiva tyajya. One should give up all kinds of degrading association. Here, the degrading effects of bad company, that is the asatsanga, the abhaktas, those people who do not worship, do not accept Lord Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And here also we'll see in detail how attachment to attachment of men to women and women to men, that is most degrading in this material world, and this brings down a person. And when one is progressing on this path of devotional service, this is a great hindrance. This we will see in detail. And in Sutra 44, it says that Kama, Krodha, Moha, Smriti, Brahma, Buddhi, Nasa, Sarvanasa, Karnavat. Now, material association is the cause of lust, anger, confusion, forgetfulness, loss of intelligence, and total calamity. As if you remember in Bhagavad Gita, this is also given in very great detail, how this material association is causing so much of harm to us. Now, why Narada is stressing all this? Because even the people in the renounced order of life, they also fall down because of these defects. So the advice of bad association is for everybody, not only for us, the Grihasthas, but also for those who are in the renounced order, that is the sannyasis also, because there is a chance of their falling down also if they do not follow this rule. Then in 45, what Narada Muni is saying, Tarangita apime sangat samudra yadanti. Now, rising like waves from material association, these bad effects mass into great ocean of misery. Now, the deluding potency of Maya is stressed here. Now, none but as we know, nobody else other than Narayana Rishi, who is doing tapasya in Badrikashram, he is immune to all this. Besides him, everybody, including the demigods and everybody, they are not immune to these things. That's why one should be very, very observant. One should be very, very careful in treading the path. Then in Sutra 46, what Narada Muni is saying, Tarati mayam ya sangam tyajati o mahanubhavam sevate nirmama bhavati. Who can cross beyond illusion? Who can cross this world of Maya? Because Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says that everybody starting from Brahma downwards, everybody is subjected to this, and it is very, very difficult to cross over Maya. But one who abandons material association, he serves the sadhus, serves the sages, and becomes selfless, he will be able to cross this Maya. And crossing over Maya is compared to an ocean here. And as you remember in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Mama Maya Durattaya. It is extremely difficult to cross over Maya. But anyone who takes refuge in Krishna, he has faith in Krishna, 100% Shraddha in Krishna, then Krishna will help and will be able to cross over this material world. There is no problem, no doubt about it. This is the take home point we should take. And in Sutra 47, what Narada Muni is saying, yo vivikta sthanam sevate yo loka bandhanam unmulyati nistay gunya bhavati yo yoga kshemam tejati. Who can cross over this illusion? That person who stays in a secluded place, cuts off at the root of his attachment to mundane society, becomes free from the influence of the three modes of material nature, and gives up hankering for material gain and security. Here what he is saying, that one should retire to a secluded place and shun all these things. But staying in a secluded place, though recommended in the Shastras, the neophyte devotees are not advised to stay alone in a secluded place, because that is very, very harmful. That we'll see in detail later on. Now, the other sutras 48 to 50. Now, Sutra 48 says, Ya karma phalam karmani chanyasati tato nirdando bhavati. Who can cross over this illusion, this material world where Maya is acting very strongly, and Krishna is saying it is very difficult to cross over? That person who renounces material duties and their profits, thus transcendental duality. Anybody who has shunned the duality and he has renounced the material duties, he can only cross over. But one should not prematurely try to achieve this, because this will come at the right stage when we have 100% Shraddha, we have total faith on the Supreme Lord. Then only we will be eligible to shun this material world, and at that stage we are not bound to obey or follow what is given in the Shastras, what is given in the Vedas, and then only we will reach that stage, not prematurely. Till then, as given in the Bhagavad Gita, we should follow what is given in the Varnashrama Dharma, that we should follow. Now, by here, going beyond duality is stressed here. And duality is because we identified with the body. That is our main problem. We have to get over it. And in Sutra 49, what Narada Muni is saying, that yo vedana api sanyasati kevalam avishinna anuragam labate. That person who renounces even the Vedas obtains exclusive and uninterrupted attraction for the God, for the Supreme Lord. But we have to understand that we have to reach that stage, and then we can renounce even the Vedas. Renouncing the Vedas means renouncing actually fruitive activities, that is karma, and the karma kanda portion of the Vedas, that we have to do. Because the karma kanda portion of the Vedas, they occupy a very prominent position, and the major portion of the Vedas, they consist of this karma kanda only. But we have to follow the upasana kanda, that is the bhakti process, and leave that at that stage. For this, the requirement is we have to have 100% Shraddha. Otherwise, it is not recommended. And in Sutra 50, we'll see sa tarati so tarati lokam tarayati. Such a person indeed is delivered, and he who delivers the rest of the world, because this person not only he is totally delivered from this material world, he can deliver the others also. That is the means he crosses over Maya. and the pure devotees, they cross over Maya and they can deliver others. And now we'll see all these verses in greater detail. First coming 42, strive only for the association of the devotees. Now here, what is happening? Narada Muni, in this Narada Bhakti Sutra, he is advising us, the devotees, and he has used this word twice repeatedly, and for emphasis, emphasizing that strive for attaining the lotus feet of Guru and Krishna via the association of the pure devotees. That means, what does it mean? First, we have to associate with the pure devotees, and with that we will find our Guru, and Guru only will guide us how to reach Krishna. If we think we can reach Krishna directly, it is not possible at all. It has to be through the pure devotees. Pure devotees, that is the first stage. Second, we have to accept a spiritual master, Guru, and he is the one who is going to lead us to Krishna. He will give us the knowledge. And when the Lord and his devotees, they see our sincere efforts we are making, we are striving so hard, then they will give us all required assistance. There is no doubt about it. And the best example of single-minded devotion to Krishna was given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Therefore, we have to walk on the footsteps of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, always asking for direction from his well-wishing followers, and always praying that he shows us the path. That's why in Shikshashtaka, the Lord says that na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam jagadisha kamaye, mama janmani janmanishware bhagavat bhakti rahitu kitvai. O Almighty God, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, because one is not going to take this wealth when he leaves his body, and this wealth and other things, they are of no use actually. And they last till the body is there, till the physical body is there. Thereafter they vanish, they are of no use. But the bhakti we do, in bhakti, whatever time we spend, that is never destroyed. That is carried over life after life. And we will start with where we had left in our present life. That is the importance of bhakti. Nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth. That is what a devotee wants. A devotee doesn't want liberation, devotee doesn't want moksha, devotee doesn't want the Lord's Dhamma or a form like him, like anything like that. He only wants service, service and service. Is causeless devotional service to the Supreme Lord. That's what a devotee should always aspire to. And in 43, Sutra 43, what is being said? One should give up all kinds of degrading association. This is very, very important. Yesterday we spoke about it, and again today also in very great detail we will be talking about it. And here what is happening now, the Muni, after stating that association of pure devotees is a must. It is as good as being with the Supreme Lord. Narada Muni now he is telling us the destructive effects of bad company of those who are non-devotees, who do not believe in God, who disrespect God and his devotees. When we talk of Krishna or the Supreme Lord, we should include the devotees in this also. As Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has defined, who is a Vaishnava, who gives up association of the worldly people and the non-devotees. Asat Sanga Tyaga Vaishnava Achara. This has to be remembered. But in our day-to-day work, day-to-day association, we perhaps cannot avoid the worldly people, association of the worldly people, but that we should do for whatever purpose it is required, only for that short duration only. And nothing else. Like you are going to a market, you are doing for a job, you have to go to a government office, do some work in connection with so many things. You just get it done at the earliest and do not think about that thing ever thereafter. And that is the only association we can have in this material world, and not associate with them, those people, that is asat sangha thereafter. Now here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has enumerated different types of asat sangha also, like Stri Sangha, Eka Sadhu, Krishna Bhaktara, anyone who is not a Krishna Bhakta, he is also a sadhu. A Vaishnava should avoid Stri Sangha, those who associate loosely with women. And he should also shun Krishna Bhaktas, those who are not devotees of Krishna. And this especially refers to the Mayavadis. If we know somebody is a Mayavadi, he is following that philosophy, we should not go anywhere near him. We should never hear what he is saying. And this is also stressed in the Srimad Bhagavatam also. Kapila Muni, he tells his mother Devahuti at the infatuation and the bondage that arises to in a man from attachment to any other object is not as complete as that resulting from an attachment to a woman or the fellowship of men who are fond of women. Now this is very, very important in Kali Yuga, because we are constantly invited to partake in many such activities which are not approved by our Shastras, and unrestricted social mixing between men and women is a major destruction from the spiritual path, as taught by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You know the story of Chota Haridas, the junior Haridas, how he was punished for a minor offense by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That we should keep in our mind. And the statements about women should not be taken as a criticism of women as a class. Just as woman is often the symbol of Maya for a man, so the attachment of men is also in men entanglement for women. And that's why Kapil Muni says that the woman therefore should consider her husband, her house and her children to be the arrangement of the external energy, that is Maya of the Supreme Lord. This is what is to be understood. And this is also given in many places in the Chaitanya Charitamrita and Srimad Bhagavatam also, when Hiranyakasipu, he sarcastically inquired from his son about Krishna consciousness. Prahlad Maharaj explained why the demons cannot possibly know about Krishna. There is a very famous verse in the 7th canto, 5th chapter, Matinna Krishna Parato Svabha. Now, so Prahlad Maharaj is saying, because of their uncontrolled senses, the demons or the abhaktas, they have got uncontrolled senses, they are not able to control their senses. And the persons who are addicted to the materialistic life, they progress toward the hellish conditions only, and they chew what has been already chewed. Punaschar vitachar vananam. This is a very famous verse in Srimad Bhagavatam. And those with uncontrolled senses can never know who is Krishna. And if an aspiring devotee associates with them, he will also lose his ability to know Krishna. This we should remember very clearly. Then next we go. Sutra 44. Material association is the cause of lust, anger, confusion, forgetfulness, loss of intelligence, and total calamity. Now, here what Narada Muni is saying, one may wonder why Narada Muni is dwelling on these effects of bad association after discussing bhakti. Bhakti, who is totally transcendental, and after discussing that, why he is doing that? Because who else other than Narada Muni can warn us? He is the greatest devotee of the Supreme Lord, and as we have read in so many shastras that for a person who is seriously desiring to cross over this material ocean, material world is like an ocean only. And if he wants to cross over this material ocean and engage in transcendental loving service for the Supreme Lord without material motives, seeing a materialist engaged in sense gratification and seeing a woman who is similarly interested are more abominable than drinking poison willingly. This is what is given in our Shastra. And while contemplating the objects of the senses, if a person develops attachment for them, then from that attachment, what develops? Lust develops. This is given in Bhagavad Gita. And from lust, anger arises when one is not able to fulfill the lust, fulfill his strong desires, then lust arises. And from lust, anger arises. And from anger, complete delusion arises. He becomes totally deluded. And from delusion, what happens? Bewilderment of memory. His memory fails. And when his memory is failing, then his intelligence is lost. He won't know what is right and wrong, and he will do something which is wrong only. And this is what is going to bring him down. And this is what is bad happens because of bad association or dussanga. And one should be very, very careful. And why this is happening? It is given in Padma Purana. Aprabdha phalam papam kutam bijam phalonmukham krameneva praliyate Vishnu bhakti ratatmanam. For those who are engaged in devotional service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, all sinful reactions, whether they are fructified, prarabdha, whether they are in stock, aprarabdha, or they are in the form of seed, they gradually vanish. That means the only thing what is given is that we should follow the path of devotional service, and with that all our sins, whether they are prarabdha or aprarabdha, or they are kutam or bijam, everything will get destroyed. That's why we should have great faith on these shastras. We should have great faith on our acharyas, what they have said, and we should not believe anything else. Then we'll go on to 45. 45 is rising like waves from material association. These bad effects mass into a great ocean of misery. What we have spoken, how they bring misery to the people. Now the deluding potency, that is the Maya, which is an energy of the Supreme Lord, can overcome us anytime if we are not doing devotional service to the Supreme Lord Krishna. And that's why Kapila Muni in Bhagavatam says that amongst all kinds of living entities which have been created by Brahma, that is the individuals, that is the human beings, the demigods, the animals, none but Narayana Rishi is immune to attraction. Narayana Rishi has not been created by Brahma, but he is giving this example. None of the creatures who has been created by Brahma is immune to the attraction of Maya in the form of a woman. So that's why we should be very, very careful about this aspect, and one should not flirt with Maya, thinking that one can transgress a little and then he can pull back later. But this will not happen. This cannot be done until we are completely liberated. We maintain the seeds of destruction within us, and they will arise at any time. They will grow. Therefore, we should be very, very careful. This is most important thing we should remember. And regarding this, once Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada learned that some of his initiated disciples, they had indulged in some former habits. As you know, the most of the people, they were hippies earlier in the US and they became the devotees. But again, some of them had gone back to their earlier habits of smoking marijuana and other things. Then Prabhupada said this was due to bad association and gave the example of bed bugs. During winter, the bed bugs seem to disappear, but again they come up in the summer and they bite you and grow fat on your blood. And this is happening because of time. Because and that's why the Prabhupada is saying this is happening because of bad association. Therefore, we have to be very, very careful about bad association, and we have to shun bad association and avoid it at all costs. But one may question whether this attitude is at odds with the compassionate mood of the devotee, compassionate mood of the preacher, one who is preaching. If he has to keep away from the non-devotees, then how the preaching is to be done? If the preacher associates with materialist, won't he become like them? Now the answer is that the preacher must be strong in his Krishna consciousness so that he is not contaminated under any of the circumstances. If he follows the rules and regulations of Bhakti Yoga, including association with the devotees, chanting and hearing the Lord's name, then he will never be affected by these non-devotees. And the aim is to make the devotees out of these non-devotees. That's why the one who is strong in Krishna consciousness should try to do this. And Srila Prabhupada also gives another example, a small story which you may already be knowing. Once a crocodile, he invited a monkey in a tree to come and ride on his back and go to the other side, because the other side there are trees and they have got fruits. Now the foolish monkey, he jumped down from the tree and soon found himself clinging to the back of the crocodile. And in the middle of the river, the monkey asked the crocodile, "Where are you going?" Now the crocodile said that I am going to take you home, where my wife will cut you into pieces. You will take out your heart and we will eat for lunch. Now the monkey replied that somehow I have left my heart back on the shore in the tree. And then you must please let me go there. I will get my heart and you can eat it. Now the crocodile thought that this was a good proposal and he allowed the monkey to touch down the shore. And once the monkey reached near that, he just jumped into the tree and refused to accept further invitation from the crocodile. Now here what Srila Prabhupada is saying, the moral of the story is, you may associate with the non-devotees, but don't give him your heart. This is very, very important. You associate with the non-devotees till whatever purpose it is required in this material world, but not beyond that. And thereafter, do not associate with him. And like the monkey, you just refuse to follow him thereafter. Now, in Sutra 46, we'll see who can cross beyond illusion. one who abandons material association, serves the sages, and becomes selfless. These are the various ways. Now, crossing over Maya is sometimes associated or compared to crossing an ocean. It is so vast and so large that it seems impassable totally. When you go to the shore of the ocean, you'll think that it is beyond us. We cannot cross that just by swimming by our own efforts, because at the time of death, the conditioned soul has to transmigrate from one material body to the other, and even he can take birth in a higher planet, but still he has to suffer the repeated birth and death. And to cross the limits of this ocean of the samsara, which is so great, he and going back to the Godhead, it is most difficult, because one has got so many material desires, whether sinful or pious. He will plunge into this material world again and again. That's why in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Daivi yesak gunamai mama maya durattaya mam evai prapadyante mayam etam tarantite. This divine energy of mind, that is Maya, is which consists of the three modes of material nature, is very, very most difficult to overcome. But those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. Now, Narad Muni is here giving detailed information how to surrender to the Supreme Lord Krishna and cross over the powerful ocean of illusion. And in this sutra, he mentions renouncing attachment, association with great souls, and becoming free from possessiveness. This is most important and the key word we should remember. One has to attempt all these and other favorable methods, but at the same time, one must understand that he cannot swim across the ocean on his own. And who can help him? The devotees of the Supreme Lord can help him. Krishna can help him. Now, Krishna has his mercy on the devotees, and the devotees, if they have mercy on us, then we will be helped. Lord Krishna, he tells Arjuna, but those who worship me, those who give up all their activities unto me and being devoted to me without deviation, and they get engaged in devotional service, for them I am the swift deliverer from the ocean of birth and death. And in his purport, so to this verse in the 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada says that simply by chanting the name of Krishna, this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, a devotee of the Lord can approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead and go back to the Godhead. Okay, let us see the next slide. Okay, let us have a 5 minutes break now, then we'll again meet. 1 minute left. Well, we'll commence from where we left. Now comes the next sutra, that is the Sutra 47. Now, who can cross over the illusion? That person who stays in a secluded place, we are talking about a secluded place, which cuts off this will cut off the root of his attachment to mundane society. He will be free from the influence of the three modes of material nature. This is what Narada Muni is describing here, how to cross over Maya, because Maya is the greatest impediment in us. Now, this Vivikta Sthanam Sevate means first live in solitude. Now, several times in Bhagavad Gita also, the Lord Krishna advises that one to progress in spiritual life, one should be alone. Now, solitude is particularly stressed for a mendicant. But one and those who are in the meditative yoga, but as we know, also in the 13th chapter, also in various places in Bhagavad Gita, 18th chapter also he stresses that. But we should know that in the Kali Yuga, especially for a neophyte devotee, it is not advised to live alone. Although solitary bhajana was practiced by Haridas Thakur and sometimes by the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, by so many people, but still Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, they had criticized devotees who prematurely want to retire to a solitary place to chant. Because Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he wrote that my mind, why are you proud of being a Vaishnava? Because your solitary worship and chanting of the holy name of the Supreme Lord are based on a desire of cheap popularity. And therefore, your chanting of holy name is only a pretension. That's why if you go to a solitary place and you try to show this to others, you will certainly fall down. Now, a sacred and solitary place, as described in Bhagavad Gita, also refers to a place of pilgrimage. And in this regard, Srila Prabhupada says that in India, the yogis, that is the transcendentalists or the devotees, they all leave home and reside in sacred places such as Mathura, Vrindavan, Prayag, Rishikesh, Haridwar, like this, because where the sacred rivers like Yamuna and the Ganga flows. And for devotees of Krishna, the most sacred place of pilgrimage is Mathura Mandala, that is the 84 crores, Mathura Mandala, Vrindavan Dhama, the district of Mathura in India. And Rupa Goswami recommends living in Mathura Mandala is one of the 5 main principles of Bhakti Yoga. And Srila Prabhupada praises Mathura Mandala by stating that a pure devotee of Krishna who resides in the district of Mathura or Vrindavana and visits the places where Krishna's pastimes were performed in the Dwapara Yuga, that is the best thing to happen. And as you know, Srila Prabhupada worked hard for many years to establish temples in Vrindavana, and finally he was successful in that. Now, here Narada also says that one who wants to overcome Maya must break the bonds of material attachment and live above the modes of material nature. And this we should remember rather than going to a solitary place. Let us go on to the next slide, Sutra 48. Who can cross beyond illusion? The person who renounces material duties and their profits, thus transcending duality. Here, duality is stressed. A devotee who has faith that Lord Krishna will supply all his requirements, all his needs, he is the best person. But this does not mean that he should become lazy or inactive. He has to work for Krishna. And by dedicating all actions to the Lord, the devotee will become free from all karmic reactions. And as long as one continues to work under the influence of the three modes of material nature, one must experience duality, good, bad, hot, cold, rich, poor, pleasure and pain like this, because it is also given in the Bhagavad Gita also that Krishna is saying that all living entities are born into delusion, bewildered by the dualities which is arising from desire and hate. And the delusion of duality stems from identifying the self with the body. This is our main problem. When a person understands that he is not the body but he is an eternal servant of Krishna, then the delusion of duality ceases to him and he comes on the right platform. And when a devotee feels bodily heat or cold, pleasure or pain, he sees it in terms of body and he continues to perform his service without any destruction. Now, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna in the beginning advises Arjuna to remain equiposed in both happiness and distress. One should neither rejoice nor grieve. That is what is the advice Krishna is giving. And that's why he is advising in the third chapter, Lord Krishna is advising Arjuna to surrender surrender everything unto me with full knowledge and without desires of profit. And that way you will be able to cross over this material world. Let us go on to the next slide. We see 49, Sutra 49. The person who renounces even the Vedas obtain exclusive and uninterrupted attraction for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, the renouncing the Vedas, Narada, means renouncing the fruitive actions, karma, which is recommended in the Karma Kanda section of the respective Vedas, which are for those who are pursuing the fruitive activities. Now, Krishna is advising Arjuna. The Vedas deal mainly with the subject of the three modes of material nature, become transcendental to the three modes of material nature, and all purposes served by a small well can at once be served by a great reservoir of water. Similarly, all the purposes of the Vedas can be served to one who knows the purpose behind them. Because the Karmakanda instructions are for gradual development of a human being to the ultimate goal of life. And that's why Krishna is saying this thing in the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. And Vyasadeva is also saying in Srimad Bhagavatam and declaring that no lesser forms of religion will be taught, that is dharma projita kaitava, only pure devotional services taught in the Bhagavad Purana. And Lord Krishna also concludes his instructions to Arjuna by advising him sarva dharman parityajya mameka saranam braja, abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. And still, although a pure devotee ignores the Karmakanda portion of the Vedas and gives up all forms of dharma except bhakti, he never defies the Bhakti Shastra or gives up the following the injunctions, Vedic injunctions. In fact, liberated souls always relish hearing the pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even though they have reached that level. And it is given in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, the works of all the Goswamis of Vrindavana, and even Srila Prabhupada, he writes that Bhagavatam is purely transcendental literature which can be understood only by the pure devotees of the Lord who are transcendental to the competitive sense of sense gratification. We should remember all these things and follow the Shastra, and then only we will be able to cross over this material ocean, material world, which is like an ocean. And let us go on to the next. Next is the final sutra which we will be covering today. Such a person indeed is delivered, and he also delivers the rest of the world. He is so important, so great that here Narada, he is repeating, he crosses Maya. So there should not be any doubt about it. Now the skeptic person may question, has anyone really crossed over Maya so far in this material world? Now Narada says that a pure devotee, he crosses over Maya and he can also deliver you, and there is no doubt about this. Now many the disciples of Srila Prabhupada, they also attest this statement of Narada Muni, which is given in the Narada Bhakti Sutra, and you also would have heard so many examples that the pure devotees, not only they have been delivered, they have delivered themselves, but they are delivered, they are able to deliver people like us who are most fallen, because the pure devotees, they help others in many ways. Sometimes they give lectures, at other times they meet with both devotees and they also meet non-devotees. And when the persons, they come forward for serious instructions, the pure devotee acts as a spiritual master, and he trains the disciples to render service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and become his servant. And this is how they help everybody. And Srila Prabhupada also writes that it is the duty of the Acharya to publish books that will further help anybody and everybody and help them to return to Godhead. And that is what is the aim. And that is what is the potency of a devotee of the Supreme Lord. And this we should remember. That means the whole thing what we have learned today, we should always try to get over this material world, and then we'll be able to take others also beyond this material world and go to the kingdom of God. And that is what Srila Prabhupada says, going back to Godhead. And this is where I have ended today's session of our class. Now I'll request the devotees for their comments or their impressions on the various things we have discussed today, or if there are any questions, I'll try to answer them. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for a wonderful class. Sorry, Prabhu, I joined late because yesterday we had started this daylight saving started in our Sydney, so got confused. Altogether, I started joined your class from sloka number 47, sutra number 47. In that one, you said that solitary places is not recommended in Kali Yuga. That is what Shastra also explains, Prabhu. But how about these bhajananandis? how you are taking this one, Prabhu? Still the bhajan, there are the group of bhajan, these are there, they will go to solitary place and they will practice the bhakti. How we can take this one, Prabhu? Could you please enlighten us? Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Okay, what has been stressed here by Srila Prabhupada and others, that the neophyte devotees, those who are beginning, those who are at a much lower level, they should not go to a solitary place. Anyone who is advanced, who has reached that stage, he should go, otherwise he is going to fall down. That will not help him, though it is given in the Shastras. It is for the neophyte devotees. They are advised not to go to a solitary space, solitary place and the practice, because so many other things will come to their mind. They will get affected and they will get deviated from the path. Because if they are in the midst of the devotees, they are in the association of the devotees, then these devotees will help him and he will never be able to deviate. Therefore, you would have seen in the initial stages when you started chanting, if you chanted amongst the devotees in a temple, it is much easier, because somebody else who is looking at you, who is seeing you, he will correct you then and there, and you will not deviate. And if you sleep up, somebody will wake you up like this. But the devotees, they will help each other. But this help will not be available if somebody goes to a solitary place when he has not reached that level. That is what is being told. It is not being told that you should not go to a solitary place, but this is especially applicable to the neophyte devotees. So this is what is being stressed here in Narada Bhakti Sutra, the purports.
Okay, no problem, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Thanks for your advice. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Oh, hope you are able to hear.
Yes, I am able to hear. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam, Prabuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Wonderful class, Prabhu. Okay. Such a wonderful discussion. You have shared all the sutras. Okay. Thank you very much, Prabhu. I have a question on Sutra number 44, Prabhu. It is talking about material association is a cause of lust, anger, confusion, and forgetfulness, loss of intelligence, and total calamity. But like we know, it is close to impossible to give up, Prabhu. Material association with, especially when you are working, okay, in office all 5-6 days, okay, and also interacting in this society. So are we talking about associate with them, but don't attach with them, or give up the results or something like that? So we are talking here, Prabhu, in the Sutra number 44.
Okay. What we basically spoke, it is given in the Bhagavad Gita also. Everything starts from our desires. Desires, when desire becomes very strong, it is known as lust. Lust means you have got a strong desire which is not fulfilled. Then because of that, it produces anger. Like this, at the end, it produces delusion, and then mati brahma, that is loss of intelligence, and it totally destroys the person. And that means we should be desireless. But earlier also we have seen, how can we be desireless? It is not possible for a human being to be desireless. We have to have desires under any circumstances. If anybody, including a Jnani, Mayavadi, says that we should be desireless, that is not actually possible. That's why what is being taught to us, we are said that we should transform this desire to the Supreme Lord. That means do everything for the Supreme Lord. Then only these desires will be transformed, and then will be called as desireless. We should not have any material desires. Suppose somebody wants, he wants from the Lord that my bhakti, my devotional side, devotional service to the Lord should increase day by day, and at the end I should be able to go to the Supreme Lord's Dhama, then such type of desires, they are good. One will work for them, one will use all his energy to satisfy the Supreme Lord, Lord Krishna, and if he is satisfied, one day he will take us to the his Dhama, either the Vaikuntha or the Golaka, whatever it is, the spiritual world only. And we should not have material desires, because these material desires, they are most destructive. And the stage through which one goes, that has been described in Bhagavad Gita, and that also we have described today, how it causes destruction to our complete personality, and how we are not benefited by any of these things. So that is what is being spoken. And if at any time we feel we can be desireless, that is not possible. We should have desires, but transcendental desires, spiritual desires. Kama sarva kama va moksha kama udaradhi. We can have desires, but if we have desires connected to Krishna, then they will help us progressing in the path of bhakti. That is what is to be understood from that, Prabhuji. I hope I have answered your question.
Okay, Prabhu, I understood. So whatever desires we have, okay, that is switch towards spirituality, towards Krishna. That's what you're trying to say. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
like anything we are doing, if it is connected to Krishna, any action, anything, then it is all right. And if something is not connected to Krishna, that is not to be done. This is the thumb rule we should follow. Whether we should do this or that, in that, whether it is connected. Now, somebody will ask, we have to sleep at night. Now, how sleep can be connected to Krishna? Now, yes, it is connected to Krishna, because if I do not sleep, if I do not take rest, then how can I do so many services to him? It is necessary for me, because this is the bodily requirement. And the Lord has created this body like this. Suppose somebody says, I have to go to the vegetable market to purchase vegetables. How can it be connected to Krishna consciousness? Yes, because if I have to certainly go to the market to get the vegetables, because I have to prepare food for the Supreme Lord, and I have to offer them. That's how they are connected. Like this, if somebody, anything is connected to the Lord, that is perfectly all right. But suppose some friends are there, I have to go there to associate with them, and they will gossip. I have to listen to the gossip for a few hours. Now, that is in no way connected to the Lord. That's why one should not go to such places. One should abandon, one should restrict going to such places. And one may say, if I don't go, then people will consider me to be a unsocial, antisocial person. Let them consider. How does it matter? Because if it is not connected with Krishna in any way, then there is one should not go. So that is what is to that should be the thumb rule. Then we will be on the right path. Otherwise, if we want to satisfy anybody and everybody, then we will be committing these aparadhas only, like as yesterday we saw. These aparadhas, they are hindering us from going ahead. We are not able to do proper sadhana, do proper bhakti, because of these offenses, because they are pulling us back. And we should go beyond this, and try to satisfy the Supreme Lord. It is so difficult to satisfy him. But as we have read in the Bhagavad Gita, he is easily satisfied by even the little water, or a leaf, or a flower, or a fruit like this. He is easily satisfied. But we are making the things complicated, and that's why it is becoming difficult for us. That's why we should follow exactly what is given in the Shastras, and that way we will be benefited. and all around us will get benefited. I hope I have answered your question, Prabhuji.
Understood, Prabhu. So we have to use our intelligence and see to what extent you can associate and where we should stop. Okay, and focus on Krishna conscious so that we move to the next level. So is it
Yes.
helping Krishna conscious or not? As you have given a very nice example, you are going for a vegetable market and doing it, or you are going for some kind of party where the gossiping is going to happen. So to what extent you have to stay over there? You should use our time very smartly. That is what you are trying to say. Wonderful explanation, Prabhu. Even if you are going, at what time we have to cut down and then come back and spend your time. That is going to be the key. Got it, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Ultimately, you see, because of our bad association till now, till our this birth, we have not come to the Supreme Lord so closely. We have not come so closely to the devotees, devotees of the Supreme Lord. That's why we have been suffering all these innumerable lifetimes till creation. We cannot say when the world was created, but from that time we are suffering. But at least now we are coming onto the right path. We may think ourselves not as not pure devotees. Yes, most of us are not pure devotees. We have not come up to that level. But at least the Lord is very merciful. He is helping us. We are associating with each other, and maybe in this life or in some future life will be able to get the ultimate destination of going to the Godhead, because the Lord is most merciful, and He will award us the reward when we have come up to that standard, when we have passed the examination. Without passing the examination, He is not going to give us grace marks and promote us to the next class. That will never happen. And this is what is happening now. That's why we should try to follow what has been told by our acharyas, what is given in the Shastras, and what is told by the sadhus, and that way we'll progress. And as taught, the main thing what we have learned today, we have to keep away from bad association. Those who are not devotees of the Supreme Lord, we should keep away from them. This is the main thing we have learned today. And
Thank
this
you.
is most important thing we should keep in our mind as a thumb rule.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Haribol. Thank you very much.
Hare
Thank
Krishna Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam.
Dandavat pranam, Mataji.
Prabhuji, so wonderful class. Thank you so much. Prabhuji, सूत्रा नंबर 43 आपने बताया कि जो अभक्त है उसके साथ संग मत करो. तो अगर घर में हमारे जो है, जो एक ही भक्त है भगवान के और दूसरे भक्त नहीं है, तो हम क्या कर सकते हैं? वो इनडायरेक्ट सेवा तो करते हैं सब, मगर वो भक्ति को लेना नहीं चाहते हैं, वो करते भी नहीं है. तो उनके साथ रहना अगर रहना पड़े तो हम क्या करें प्रभु जी? आई एम स्ट्रगलिंग अ लॉट प्रभु जी, मेरे साथ ही हो रहा है ये.
Thank you, Mataji. This is also a very good question. We are bound to stay in that. Now you
We
see,
have to fulfill their all desire also, because they want onion, garlic, everything. So I have to prepare also.
okay, the way to handle such people is we should do our work, we should do our bhakti, let them see, and by seeing that and by the influence of us who are trying to do bhakti, one day they will get transformed. We cannot say that we should abandon them and go to some other place. No. If they are family members, yes, in a family, you will find some of them like this only. And in proper course of time, they'll get that knowledge. That's why we should, like in a house, if some non-devotee is there, he does not believe, but you are reciting the Bhagavad Gita, the Srimad Bhagavatam, and various bhajans also there, and they are falling into their ears. In some day they will get transformed. There is no doubt about it. That's why what Haridas Thakur used to say. Haridas Thakur used to say that you should chant loudly so that even the animals, the trees, the shrubs, they also hear, because they will get benefited. Everybody gets benefited. And such people will also get benefited. And in that circumstances, you should think that perhaps the Lord has brought you there to transform that person, to bring a change in that person. And certainly, if you keep on progressing in the path of bhakti, the other person who is in contact with you certainly will change one day. There is no doubt about it. That's why if somebody is eating, say, garlic, onion, or non-veg, anything, you don't tell him to change his habit. In due course of time, if he is in this environment, he will not understand how he left them. He will leave them, there is no doubt about it. But it may take some time. This is what is my understanding and my experience in life. I have seen people have changed like this, and they will not know at the end why they have changed. But this is because of the influence of bhakti. Bhakti is most powerful. The most powerful thing in this creation of Krishna is bhakti only, and it can transform anything and everything. Even the non-devotees, they can change. Like you see, Srila Prabhupada, when he went to the Western world, how many devotees were there, and how many devotees are there now? We see that there is a lot of difference. This can happen. I hope I have
Thank you, Prabhuji.
answered your
Thank you,
question
Prabhuji,
to
for
some
wonderful
extent.
answer.
At the end, I will request Charu Prabhuji to say something about this. Any other question?
So, Prabhu, you are saying that like continue putting the efforts. You continue do your sadhana, and automatically through our behavior, other people will start changing. Is that you are trying to say, Prabhu? Summary.
Yes, yes. So what I am saying, if in a family there are some people who are not devotees, who have not come to this path, you keep on following. You do your duty, and by seeing that, they will get transformed.
Prabhuji, I am doing this only, whatever you say. I am continuing doing my services.
Yes, yes. That is the right way, because
Prabhuji, nowadays they are all doing indirect seva. Too much indirect seva they are doing. Slowly.
yes, yes, indirect, then one day it will become totally direct. And that's how actually all of us are in different levels. We have come to this level, the other person has not come, but he will come, certainly he will come. There is no doubt about it. It may take some time, but it will definitely 100% it will happen. Because the environment, if the environment is of devotional service, then it will affect everybody, including if an animal is there also around, if an insect is there, that will also be benefited. So this is what is my understanding of bhakti. Any other question?
Thank you, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, in this situation, I have completed my Bhakti Shastri and Bhakti Vaibhav first canto.
Congratulations, Mataji. Congratulations. Thank you very much.
Haribol Mataji, wonderful Mataji. You are true inspiration for all of us. Thank you.
Haribol, Prabhuji. Because of Guru and Gauranga, Prabhuji.
Yes,
Vaibhav
yes.
also. Thank you.
So if there are no questions or comments, then I will request Charu Prabhuji to say something.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Prabhuji, can hear you.
Can hear you.
Okay, good. My video is probably not working.
Yeah.
What I want to show you, I cannot show you now. So let me, because I have only very few minutes left. I wanted to say a little bit more about the questions that took place in the discussion. Raju Prabhu's question, Prasad Prabhu, Raksha Mataji. They are very, very important questions actually. And Sharat Prabhuji very well addressed and responded to that. So I would utilize my time on something else. As you know, I've sent you an email to all of you. We are starting and launching a new course, Prema Vivarata, okay? And that's starting right this Friday, actually. We are continuing these other courses, Fridays and Saturdays for India, for America. For all of you in India, it is Saturday, Sunday, right? In the early morning, we are conducting Narada Bhakti Sutra, which is, we are coming pretty close to it. So immediately follow up that with this Madhurya Kadambini will start. Very, very important course actually. And then of course, we followed up with this Jaiva Dharma. But then as I was preparing for Jaiva Dharma, I realized in there it is a very heavy emphasis is placed on this particular course, Prema Vivarata, that literature, okay? And many of the questions that you asked, actually they are being discussed, they are discussed right in that course also actually, you know? So it will be really directly applicable to all of you, you know? So I just want to remind you, time is very short. This Friday we are starting, and since we don't want to interrupt the other two courses regularly being conducted on Saturdays and Sundays, so then I suggested, and some of you actually already agreed with me, that we will do it on Friday evenings for those in India between 8 and 10 p.m. in the evening, the night time, so that it won't interfere your other things. Most of you would be returning from your job in the evening. So after your dinner, you can attend that, you know. And those of you who cannot make it, like those who are living in Sydney, Australia, Singapore, elsewhere, the timing is very odd. For them, the only recourse is to listen to the audio and video tapes that is being recorded already, you know. But that course is very, very important, and it's and that you need to endure only for 16 lessons, okay? So once in a week we'll meet on Friday evenings. For those, most of you are actually in India, you know, so between 8 and 10 p.m. That we would do that. And I already sent you a few hours ago my PowerPoints for lesson 1 and 2. The lesson 1, that is the inauguration, as well as the introductory part, and some biographical sketch of the author. The author is Jagadananda Prabhu, okay? Jagadananda is very special thing that I noticed here. He is the direct associate, he was the direct associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, even when, even in the childhood days. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was known as the Nimai Pandita, right? He was conducting these various courses and so on like that. So this Jagadananda Prabhu was with him right there. And then even when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu moved over, when he assumed sannyas order, he moved to Jagannath Puri. Jagadananda Prabhu, Jagadananda Dasa moved with him in Jagannath Puri. You know? So some of the pastimes he discussed in Prema Vivarata, in his book, they are not found anywhere, any other literature. There's a unique part of it, you know. And actually this course really deserves at least 24 to 36 lessons. So it's a tightly packed in just 16 lessons. And some of the issues that he talks about in his book, they're directly relevant to some of the questions that you were asking today to Sharat Prabuji, you know. because I prepared, I'm preparing all the PowerPoints. Just and some of the issue came up, how to work 24 hours a day with Krishna, right? You are seeing me the living example. 100 lessons, I'm preparing PowerPoints. 12 for Narada Bhakti Sutra, 20 for Madhurya Kadambini, 36 from 36 for this Jaiva Dharma, 48 lessons for Jaiva Dharma. So all these things add up to 100 lessons, and in the matter of just couple months. So you can imagine how much time is being spent. Of course, I also do eat. Obviously, I have to survive. I sleep maybe about 4 or 5 hours only. I have to take my wife for shopping, all these things. But see, what Prabhupada is teaching us, that what is the real meaning of working for 24 hours? It means that whatever the time that you spend elsewhere, actually your mind is still on Krishna. That is the ultimate part, how to focus your mind on Krishna, even though you may be doing something else. Okay. So while I'm going out for shopping, doing grocery with my wife outside driving around, my mind is always there on these PowerPoints I'm preparing. Okay. So that is the way to keep your mind focused on every second of your day, every second of your life, you know. That is what it means working for 24 hours. And this bhajan anandi, you know, living in the solitude, Prabuji mentioned very clearly, it is not meant for most of us, but you can create. Prabhupada used to say how to create Vrindavan mood, you know. Ideally, you must live in a holy dhama, right? But if you cannot do it, you create that consciousness wherever you are, wherever you talk and think, work for Krishna. If you work for Krishna, Krishna will work for you. I can guarantee you from my own experience. Okay. So that is the way how to remain Krishna consciousness 24 every second of your life, and always working for him and for his devotees. That is the way to make progress. And all the issues that Raksha Mataji was talking about, they are real issues. We all face that. But the ideal thing is to provide your own example to them. You try your best to involve them, engage them, give them little services here and there. Even the indirect way they are serving, that is going to make progress. Okay. Ultimately, you are going to help them, but don't impose your views on them, because it is going to be counterproductive. And that's not going to help you. So do it within a limit. And then what you need to do is to motivate them by your own example. What I'm doing, you know, I'm trying to motivate all of you, asking questions. Still, I'm struggling. Only the handful of you are really asking questions. Rest of you are just very, very passive way you are listening. That's no fun. Of course, one thing I must give credit to all of rest of you who are not asking questions, but they are very, very regular in their attendance. And that counts a huge, huge thing in my mind, actually, you know. So even though you may not be asking me, you're listening to it. And that is the one good way. Eventually, you will make progress, okay? But still, I'm not forcing all of you. But what I'm trying to do with my own example, and Sharat Prabhu with his own example, and some of you, handful of you who, with their own example, you are motivating the others. You're involving them without realizing, you know, and they are watching you, they are listening to you. And that is because Krishna consciousness is very, very infectious. Eventually, they will come to that platform, and they are in the process of coming to that platform. So don't be disappointed, Raksha Mataji. Just provide your own example, try to motivate them and give them little services here and there, whatever they like, but somehow connect them, engage them, somehow or other, even though they may not realize, but eventually it's going to come into their spiritual bank, you know. So that is what I wanted to say. So please don't forget this very Friday, India time, in the evening, we will be beginning Prema Vivrata. And early morning, of course, you are taking the regular programs. Narada Bhakti Sutra is almost coming to the end. And then immediately followed by another important course is Madhurya Kadambini. And Madhurya Kadambini, the entire course is focused on this Shraddha to Prema. Exactly what we are talking about in the Rupa Goswami's Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, that only those verses they are being discussed in Madhurya Kadambini. And all this thing will come to climax into Jaiva Dharma. Very, very extremely important. These 48 lessons you will ever hear in your entire life. Jaiva Dharma is so important. Everything is being discussed there. All this, and some of the questions that you asked today, we discussed even the Manah Siksha course also. Remember how to discipline your mind. Ultimately, disciplining your mind is the way to become Krishna consciousness. Mind is very, very important. And it's a two-edged sword. It can cut either way. So you want to utilize the mind in Krishna consciousness by working for Krishna and for his devotees. And that's exactly what I'm doing. Last 35 years, I spent, and I remember I told you, I came to Krishna consciousness platform in my 40s, much, much later. But that gave me the incentive, because that the sense of urgency was there. So that is what really made me make rapid progress. So in 25 years, I've been conducting these courses, and almost everything you name it, we have conducted. And Sanjeev Prabuji, credit, the lion's share of credit must go to him. He is the one who really helped me and set up this online teaching 25 years ago. Okay, when I met him first in Tokyo, Japan. So everybody helped each other. None of us can make independent progress. We try to depend on others, but depend on Krishna consciousness. And that is what the Sadhu Sangha is meant. We seek devotee association and we provide devotee association to others, our fellow beings. That's exactly my motivation, my effort to motivate all of you. And then thereby I redeem myself. I'm learning this. I'm not doing just for you. I'm doing it for myself also. But if I were doing it on my alone, I would not have done these things. I would not have created the tens of thousands of PowerPoints if I were to do it alone by myself. So you all contributed to me in many, many ways, more than you can realize. So that's what I wanted to add. And Sharpuji, I think we exhausted all of our allotted time. So let's invite Sagar Prabhu to conclude our class. Hari Bol.
Thank you, Prabuji. Sagar Prabuji, please.
Okay. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please accept my humble obsession. All go to Srila Prabhupada. Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Praladaladahi. Praladaladahi. Shilatankar Nathali, Shilatankar Nathali. Ito Narsimha, Ito Narsimha, Ito Narsimha, Ito ya, Ito Narsimha, Ito ya, Ito Narsimha, by Narsimha, Narsimha, by Narsimha. Narasingha Madhu Saranam Prabha. Narasingha Madhu Saranam Prabhade. Prabhare Nakhadhuta Singham Hiranyakashipu Tanubhingam Kesavadhita Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Hare Nakhadhuta Singham Tanubhingam Savatita Narahari Jai Jagat Sahari Jai Jagat Jai Jagat Sahari नरसिंहदेव भगवान की जय, प्रहलाद महाराज की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, चर प्रभु की जय, शरद प्रभु की जय, गुरुदेव की जय, ऑल assembled devotees की जय। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम।
Thank you very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna, then we meet at the same time next week for the Narada Bhakti Sutra class. But before that, on Indian time, 8 o'clock in the night on Friday, we meet for the other class, as Charu Prabhu has said. Please, I'll also remind you about the timing. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
प्रभुजी हरे कृष्ण,
Thank you,
दंडवत
Krishna.
प्रणाम।
Thank you,
चारू
Sarat Prabhuji.
प्रभु।
Thank you, Chandra Bhai.
Hare Krishna to everyone.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण एवरीवन।
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.